Fort St Angelo is a bastioned fort in Birgu, Malta, located at the centre of the Grand Harbour. It was originally built in the medieval period as a castle called the Castrum Maris. It was rebuilt by the Order of St John as a bastioned fort called Fort St Angelo between the 1530s and the 1560s, and it is best known for its role as the Order's headquarters during the Great Siege of Malta of 1565. The fort was garrisoned by the British from 1800 to 1979, at times being classified as a stone frigate known as HMS Egmont or later HMS St Angelo. The fort suffered considerable damage during World War II, but it was later restored. In 1998, the upper part of the fort was handed to the Sovereign Military Order of Malta. Fort St Angelo has been on Malta's tentative list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites since 1998, as part of the Knights fortifications around the harbours of Malta.
Okay, hello guys. Right, here we are at St Angelo's fort, Fort St Angelo. This is stunning. A lot of history. The Knights of St John, the Royal Navy, British Royal Navy this was the main Mediterranean Admiral base. I think they left in 1979. It was heavily bombed during World War II. 69 bombs were dropped directly on it on the siege of Malta from the Italians and the Germans. But most of it's been restored to its former glory. It protected the Grand Harbour.
When the Order of St John arrived in Malta in 1530, they chose to settle in Birgu. When it was observed, the site of Fort St Angelo was partially abandoned and in ruins. After renovation, it became the seat of the Grand Master, which included the refurbishing of the Castella Nis house and the Chapel of St Anne. The Knights made this their primary fortification and substantially reinforced and remodeled it, including the cutting of the dry ditch to make it a moat and the Defied bastion built by 1536. By 1547, a large cavalier designed by Antonio Ferramolino was built behind the Defied bastion, and a Guerriero battery was built at the tip of the fort by sea level to protect the entrance to Dockyard Creek. These works transformed the fort into a gunpowder fortification. Fort St Angelo withstood the Turks during the Great Siege of Malta, during which it succeeded in repulsing a sea attack by the Turks on Sanglea on the 15th of August 1565.
Like I said outside, this was the Order of St John's strong room where they put all their artefacts, valuable artefacts, the siege of the Ottoman Empire. It's such an amazing place. It's absolutely stunning. Cancelled. Oh, right.
This looks like the Knights Templar where we went,
Yeah, yeah.
where I got that thing, this bit.
In the 1690s, the fort again underwent major repairs. Today's layout of the fort is attributed to these works, which were designed by Carlos de Grunenberg, who also paid for the construction of 4 gun batteries on the side of the fort facing the entrance to Grand Harbour. As a result, one can still see his coat of arms above the main gate of the fort. When the French arrived in 1798, the fort had become a powerful fortification housing some 80 guns, 48 of which pointed towards the entrance of the port. During the short 2-year period of French occupation, the fort served as the headquarters of the French army. With the coming of the British to Malta, the fort retained its importance as a military installation, first in use by the army as a wireless station. In fact, in 1800, 2 battalions of the 35th Regiment were resident in the fort. However, at the start of the 20th century, the fort was taken over by the Navy and it was commissioned as a stone frigate, originally in 1912 as HMS Egmont when it became a base for the Royal Navy in the Mediterranean, and in 1933 renamed as HMS St Angelo. The British did not make any major modifications to the fort, although they converted No. 2 battery into a casemated battery for 3 9-inch RML guns in the 1860s, and built a cinema and a water distillation plant in the early 20th century. During World War II, the fort again withstood the siege with an armament of 3 Beauforts, guns manned by the Royal Marines and later by the Royal Malta Artillery. In total, the fort suffered 69 direct hits between 1940 and 1943. When the Royal Navy left Malta in 1979, the fort was handed to the Maltese government, and since then parts of the fort fell into a state of disrepair, mostly after a failed project to transform it into a hotel during the
The
1980s.
thing is, you don't want to work on it too much.
No. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye now. So we're at Fort St Angelo. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. This place is stunning. Honestly, I'm in love with Malta. It's gorgeous, and we've only seen a little bit. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, or videos, depending how I'm going to do this. It'll probably be one video, so I hope you enjoyed it. All the places we went to, and we haven't been to that many really. But yeah, enjoy, and honestly, come to Malta. It's really nice, and it's not expensive. Some of the food we've had some real quality food, and it's really cheap. So yeah, so enjoy, and I'll see you again on the cut very soon. Tatty boys for now.